That's the reason why a lot of people, sometimes lose a lot and think that they don't have anything when they think everything is lost. But it's not, because you still got something. Music is about something. I still remember this like it was yesterday. I was at school and I just got into jazz class, and I was doing performances and shows. My mom was like, "You play good enough to be a professional musician." Like, she was like, "You play good enough to be on stage playing." And she was like, "Okay, yeah." She was like, "I'm gonna book you with a gig." And then she booked me, and it was for I would say it was for our school, but also it was for my career. So it was my first gig. It was for the mayor of Charlotte. His name was Pat McCoy. And they had a little party meeting at the Hilton Hotel. And this was a meeting for, city council and actually for Charlotte Mecklenburg school system. So I played that gig, and it was like, okay, yeah, it's pretty awesome. But I remember that whole week, she was like, I would never play in front of anybody, ever, at this time. I wouldn't even stand up to like, in class, to play. It's like, yeah, whatever. But eventually I was like, alright. I stood up, did my little solo, because they'll allow us to solo in school. Like, for at least, 8 bars. So you get 8 bars to solo. But we had a white teacher, so they said, you get 8 bars to solo. So playing, and this was the coolest teacher ever. It was Mr. Marcus, was the first teacher that I had when I got to jazz class. So we had Mr. Marcus, and then we had Mr. Sanders, and then they would make a solo. So my mom was like, "Huh, you like the solo, don't you? Why don't you just play in front of me right now?" So, no. And she was like, "Why?" I was like, "I don't know. It just feels weird." And my mom, I don't know. But anyway, I did anyway, and I was like, everything feels better. Whew. My mom likes to do it. I'm like, because I always practice, and she was like, "Alright, well, I guess I can't tell her to stop." That's the funniest thing. I would practice in my house, loud as I don't know what. Like, I would be hitting high notes like high F sharps. Music on blast. Playing it, playing whatever song that's on, I'm playing the whole song, note for note, word for word. So I'll be doing that until I got done playing the song. And my mom, that's one thing I will never forget, was the practices that I did at home, and also playing in front of my mom. Her going like, "Oh, that sounds good. Okay, yeah. I guess you're pretty much ready." So we're gonna start. We're gonna get your name out there. We're gonna start you with some shows. We're gonna start your professional background. We're gonna write you a bio. We're gonna get your website. All that stuff. That's all the stuff I started off with. Like, she created my first website. You turn on the website, it'll be music playing. Like, it's a song I had called "Darn That Dream." It was a rendition of a Miles Davis song that he did. It was called "Darn That Dream." So I just played that, Blackbird, and then I made a solo song that played on radio a couple of times, and then after that, that was put on iTunes, Amazon, CD Baby, and all that stuff. It's a ringtone and all that stuff. It was pretty cool.
My name is Paul Jones, and I'm a visual communication designer. My inspiration comes from, I guess, my passion to create unique projects. One of the things that inspires me also is up-and-comers, people who are doing their craft, taking your craft seriously, and really putting a lot of time into it. Kind of motivates me when I see that in other up-and-comers. I get a lot of inspiration from other areas of design. Looking at interior design, advertising, web design. I draw inspiration from any visual information that I can kind of absorb. Is something that usually inspires me, whether it be a sign or, something that I see just strolling down the street. I wasn't really that interested in education, so it kind of put me behind into high school and realizing that education is something that you can utilize to grow and to become stronger. The teenage Paul Jones, I would definitely inform him that he should follow his interests as opposed to what he's told will make him money. A lot of youth aren't exposed to the creative careers that exist for them, which are in line with their talents. We're always told that, you want to push to be a doctor or a lawyer, you know, and you do have those children that are doodling in class, drawing and, just different things, expressing that they have a different gift. And I feel like sometimes that gift is stifled because they're told that they need to take a specific path.
My name is Samayyah, and ever since I was a little girl, I loved to sing. I always wanted to be an international recording artist, chart-topping, award-winning, awe-inspiring, just like the greats. But what I found to be most important to me was simply inspiring others with my journey to pursue my music career, letting them know that it's never too late to pursue your dreams, your passions, to put your gifts out into the world. And that's why I never gave up. I'm hoping that my story will touch someone.
It's a lot to digest when you know that you have a powerful gift, but you've been trying to figure out exactly how to use it. And music is something that connects everyone. Music is universal. Like I'm sitting out here struggling, living from pillar to post, all to chase this dream of mine, right? And you can't imagine how many conversations I have with people where they're like, I don't get it. Like, girl, you went to college, like you will leave a good job just to like to do music. Like, what if it never happens? And I'm like, it's gonna happen. Like it has to happen. Like, why would it be on my heart? Why would God place this on my heart to do it the exact way that I'm seeing it if it wasn't meant to be? So it means that I had to leave the comforts, the security of what I'm used to. You have to be careful what you say because I'll never forget, like, so it's been about 4 years since I've been really trying to like get on with music, professionally. And I'll never forget saying like, I don't care what I gotta do. I don't care what I gotta do. Like I'll sleep in my car if I have to. I'm a sing. Like I gotta put this music out. Right? That's what I've been doing. And it hasn't been 100% of the time, but there have been times where I had to sleep in my car, right? So I'm sleeping in my car. They're like angry because I'm sleeping in my car, right? And then I'm like, oh shit. That's what you asked for. God will give you whatever you ask for. you have to be wise enough to see the signs and to really be able to reflect and remember what you asked God for. Remember the things that you say, even out of anger. Right? We say some things out of anger. We wish this, that, and the third. We get it. Don't be surprised. You asked for it.
In this life, we have so much going through our minds. We have so much we look at on our phones, entertainment, business, personal. There's so much that we just take in on a day-to-day basis. So it's my job as an interior organizer to ensure that every person I work with has a tailored experience just for them to be able to ensure that their household or their business is working at max efficiency. So I would say initially my biggest one is I understand it from a personal point of view. I used to have chronic disorder issues. There was a moment of realization that I came into, and it was because I saw somebody else as a professional organizer on a TV show. And it showed me like, hey, I'm not the only one, first of all, that has issues with disorganization. And also that there's a such thing as a professional organizer that can help me get into a better place. So understanding that there's real help, one, and there's real understanding that comes along with it. That it's not just something that everybody automatically has within them. Before I can provide services, a client has to trust me to some extent. So I have to establish some level of trust, whether it be going into their home and just taking a walk through as is, they haven't cleaned the house, they haven't tried to organize anything themselves, just letting me see the raw home or business helps me to let them know that I'm not here to judge. So in order to have somebody believe that, they have to trust you first. My home, my friends' homes, anywhere I go, I'm gonna be so honest, okay? When I go to restaurants and I go in their bathrooms, I reorganize their cabinets. Okay. This is no joke. Like, okay, you know where they keep tissues and they keep maybe in women's bathrooms and restaurants, some of them keep feminine products, all different types of stuff, cleaning supplies. I go in when I'm in the bathroom by myself and I will reorganize anything that I can find. That was the only piece that I've seen where it actually is seriously functional and it's multi-use, you know what I mean?
I just wanted to be Superman, not like yeah Superman, just to be like I can do anything, you know.
Yeah.
That's how a kid should grow up. But I didn't see a problem with it. So I saw a problem with the teasing and stuff when people were like, oh man, this guy's different. He's just teasing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to get over that too, cause that's the only way I could say it, you know, slang terms. But if you have a gift and you think that it's really good and that you could change anybody's life with it, I mean, why not? I mean, I know I sound like probably like thousands of people who probably say this to you, or maybe just two people that say it. They could be your parents, they could be your brothers, they could be your sisters, whoever. But if you see and you hear the results, and you have that feeling here, and they feel it too, then it speaks for itself. You know, if you can dance 1,000 people to start dancing, or if you can, you know, even sing, you know, at least two people to start dancing themselves, you know, why not go for it? My biggest aggravation is when people discontinue their focus on the positives that come with the craft, and they take away from the craft instead of giving to it when they have the ability. That's for me. That's just like when I see it. I'm like, dang, you're wasting good talent. You know, you're wasting change. You not change in your pocket, but the world, like change for the world, because there are people who are gifted who just don't push it out there. Like that's all you have to do is push it out there. Now, me, I go uptown and play, or I go to do shows at a club or a venue, or I go to a different state if I have to. Fly over there, land, perform, get my equipment, go back to my house, put it back in my house. I'm always ready. That's because I noticed at a young age that I was able to do it. Then, like, there's some people that are just really, really gifted. Like, they can play classical piano for an audience of 5,000 people, don't even know it. It's about knowing your gifts and owning up to the fact that either you could be changing the world, helping yourself out and your family or whatever's going on with that too.
I heard somewhere, to like probably this week, that the very thing that you won't give up is the very thing that you have to give up in order to, propel to the next level. And I thought about even me in this journey in music and everything. It's like things that I wasn't willing to give up. Like I was not willing to give up just being comfortable. Your parents shield you from a lot of the ills of the world. You could be going through hell and hot water, but because your parents are there, you don't really feel the backlash. You don't feel the brunt of what's really going on. So for me to jump out there and say, look, I'm gonna give up my apartment. This was the first time I gave up my apartment. I was like, I'm going down to Atlanta. Something kept calling me to Atlanta. One thing that I learned throughout that time, and even like up until this point, like diamonds aren't built with ease. Diamonds are created under extreme pressure. Right. So that's how I look at myself. Thinking about that analogy, like I'm a diamond in the rough. I know, like for me, right now at this point, like the part of life that I'm in is I ain't no punk. Like that's my thing. one week I'm just crying, you know, reminiscing about life, trying to figure out what am I going to do with this music. I was in an apartment over here off of Edinburgh Drive in Durham. And I'm sitting there just thinking about my life. I was working a job. This was last year. So I'm working a job. I'm like, man, it got to be something more out here. Like my friends, people close to me have been passing away throughout the last 2 years. And then something came to me. I ain't raised no punks. I ain't raised no punks. Like you keep sitting up here talking about your dreams. I ain't raised no punks. I said, wow. I never thought about it from that standpoint. It has always been a physical, like I ain't no punk. That's how it is in the hood. She ain't no punk. He ain't no punk, you know. But a lot of us and people like us, you know, and you don't have to come from the hood to not be afraid of anything physically. But some of those same people are afraid to chase their dreams. They are afraid to step outside of the box. You know, they're afraid to be uncomfortable. Here, so that's fine. I like to go ahead and just sing. I believe that I am with some accomplished musicians, way more accomplished than I am. So I'll start off a cappella. You know, it's safer in security, safer in that job, you know. But if that's not the definition of a punk, I don't know what is.
Well, you see a good artist on American Idol, they're playing, and they're playing something smooth, you know, and it sounds really good. They also have a guitar in their hand, and they played it perfectly. They have the greatest voice you ever heard. Or like, wow, why didn't that person start doing shows themselves at that specific time? Instead of trying to prove to these judges how good they are, know how good you are yourself. Go out there to go do it. All my brothers were like, I want to say quadruplets, quintuplets, yeah. We act like quintuplets, like we're all strong together, even apart, but we're very strong as his brothers. We stayed so close within like 5 minutes of like my brother. If he was around this area, I'd be like, there you go, right there on the skateboard. You know, that's how small the city is. Okay. But it's crazy because the people that you keep around you that are, when I say powerful, those are people that are gonna push you. Those are people that are gonna help you make the change that you want to make. Support in a community is important, but you build your friends as your community before you change the whole world. Yeah. Your team. I'm not afraid to go after what I want in life. Music, business, whether it's motivational speaking, whether it's, you know, going to a whole nother country and getting to learn another culture or whatever. Like the things that I have on my life's plan, I'm gonna follow through with it and do it because my mother ain't raised no punks. Lately there's been some complications between me and you, and I don't wanna cause any more frustration. But right now I had to say what's on my mind. Let's take a little time to sit down and talk things through. You literally have to fight for your life. You have to fight for your dreams. You have to fight to allow your spirit to come out and manifest. Because everything that we have in our physical world is a reflection or a representation of what we feel in our spirit. So if we're caging our spirit in, like if I have music on my heart, or if I have a story I would like to write, just things that allow me to be creative. If I have that on my heart, but I'm not letting it out, it will literally manifest in my body, make me sick. You know, negative things that be happening in the physical world and all of that. So I figure the more I'm able to chase my dreams, not even chase them, execute my dreams,
and to not be afraid of being vulnerable, because that's really what it is. At the very basic level of being a human being, we don't want to be vulnerable.
Wasting all of this energy when you should be making love to me, boy. I only wanna be with you, no matter the weather. I know that we can make it through, no matter the weather.
And then we'll let the results speak for itself, And even if the results are not what I envisioned, the very fact that I went out there and did it, that's a blessing. That's success within itself. So that's where I'm at right now.
This love that we have here is the truth, and I don't wanna let it go. Just wanna let you know I'll be here, no matter the weather, rain or shine.
With having a personal organizer, you're allowing yourself to take a step back and take one thing, and maybe not even one thing, a few things off of your plate, out of your ear, out of your eyesight, and just relinquish that. It's a beautiful thing to be able to understand when you need to delegate power. As a personal organizer, I'm coming in because you've delegated something, given it to me, and I know how to handle it. When you have earrings in the same container as necklaces and such, you're probably going to end up having to throw jewelry away because they get tangled. So keep your items separate. You have shallow drawers available for the smaller items. I wouldn't suggest it, honestly, for clothes. It's not lined, so what ends up happening with shirts is they start to get piles on them. You know what I mean? If you were to put some liner in here, that would be good for clothes, I think.
I feel like pay in the design industry is different for different people. I would say I would speak to my own personal experiences. A lot of entities, businesses, don't really respect that designers bring a lot of value to the table, and sometimes that is expressed by their unwillingness to pay them what they're worth. Being part African American, I feel like we are a very underrepresented market in the design industry. I've learned to navigate, I would say, the low places, staying motivated by just continuing to focus on getting better. I think my goal overall is to constantly grow. When it comes to something I have to do every day, I think it is grow in some area of design, really, like truly. Whether it be web or whether it be print, I'm researching, I'm learning about terms, I'm learning about, practices, concepts, just to kind of grow. I definitely want to be ready for situations, to be able to provide the best input that I can, upon any type of situation.
Play some tunes, it sounds so good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey, want me to play Careless Whisper?
Yeah, I can play Careless Whisper.
You got it? I'll be back for you.
Gotcha.
Well, I'm here right now.
Here right now. I'm doing it.
Yeah, whip it out.
Whip it out. I mean, when they asked me to play, I was like, okay, I got you. It's like, people ask for songs all the time. They're like, you know this, you know that? I'm like, yeah. Or they'll just ask for something smooth, soft. And that's what they want, I'm like, okay. Or they just want to, what people say, quote unquote, turn up. So they're like, okay, I just want to get hype. I just want to dance. Now, a powerful thing I've done, though, was made the front page of Creative Loafing. I've done that before. So,
Creative loafing?
yeah. That's a big, very big, I would say company, organization.
For the arts?
For the arts. It's a representation of what goes. They represent They represent the cultural change, that's here in Charlotte, North Carolina. When things do deal with arts, they represent what's going on. They tell the artsy people like, yeah, this is going on in this neighborhood and that neighborhood. There's two different art neighborhoods, and now they have other art neighborhoods here too, in Charlotte. So Charlotte, North Carolina, you have Noda Plaza, which I mentioned, and the third one, it would have to be like the NC Music Factory.
So, okay, one thing you hit on specifically was appointments, keeping appointments. Understanding that you can't have efficiency and smooth productivity with gaps in time. There needs to be a continuous flow. Something needs to be moving continuously. You don't have to be perfect and do everything in just the right way, right on time. But you do have to have an idea of how you want things to go. That's the starting point. So me, where I come into that is helping you to gain an understanding of, first of all, the bulk of what you have, the bulk of your pieces to the flow. For me personally, and the way I do things, yes, I take hold of everything is a personal experience. Everything should be tailored to the way that client lives and operates. Now, aside from how I feel, I've heard of other ideas around the matter that there's a structure that's a no-fail type of structure. I don't believe that. I just don't. Because I've seen where even in my own household, I've tried to implement things that another household did, and it didn't work. There's always going to be some difference. There will never be a time when the exact same plan that's prescribed for one individual will work just as good for another individual.
A couple of my journal entries have been like poems, a couple of them I've had like a little melody too, but it's just actually like a story. But for the most part, it's just me writing about my day. Those journal entries, when I look back at them, I'm like, damn, this would be a good song. Like, oh, what you was going through, like, So that's pretty much how it is. It's a lot of good content in my journals. I'm proud to say that I'm actually on the verge of completing one of them, because what I was doing was, because I like journals, and I like journals that have like quotes on the front, or like it might say something like blessed, or it might have like a scripture verse on the front of it or whatever. I like those. I like quotes and stuff like that. So I was like getting journals, starting them, and then didn't finish. In this particular journal, it says, she believed she could, so she did. So that's very significant, to me, because I'm like, man, like, I'm gonna do this, like, this is it, and I'm actually on the verge of completing that one. She believed she could, so she did journal, like, that's the most significant one to me at this time. There's a second one that I have not started writing in yet, and it's actually a journal that my coworkers, the last job I had, they got it for me. And it's a journal, but it has like the staff and the music notes and stuff on it. It's in gold. And I'm so excited about the opportunity to write in that one, because that one is strictly gonna be like music. Like I wanna write songs in that, And they gave me that, they're like, we believe in you. Like, this is what you should be doing. So that, I would say that one's the most significant one. Well, those two. So the believe she could, so she did, because I'm almost finished that, and I just love that quote because it gives me inspiration and motivation at the same time. Because you have to constantly remind yourself and encourage yourself, like, if you believe it, like, you can do it. And it starts with you. No matter how much anybody else believes in you, it don't matter. You have to believe in yourself in order for you to do the things that you want to do with your life. I quit my job once before to go down to Atlanta. This is when I first said that I wanted to do music. And at the time, I'm a big person on signs, and I had never thought about Atlanta before, nothing. Like, in my mind, me pursuing my dreams of music would take me back to Jersey, and then I would go, commute back and forth to New York and get to know people up there. And then, for whatever reason during this time, I just kept getting signs about Atlanta. I was like, well, I'm gonna go down to Atlanta. Went down there. I quit my job that time. Things didn't really, work out the way I thought they would work out, but they worked out the way they needed to work out in order for me to learn and grow from that experience. So this second time, I came back to Durham. I'm like, I'm just going to get a job so I can, get my money up, and I'm going to start planning. But what happened was the same thing that happened again. I got a job and started working to pay the bills, put me living in an apartment, my car, things of that nature, whatever. So I had a conversation with my supervisor, and I was just like, look, I just feel like I'm climbing up a ladder that's leaned up against the wrong wall. Like, this is not for me. So I kept it a secret from everybody, up until maybe a couple days before I was leaving. And everyone was so sad. But it was I don't want to say I was some big hope for the future, nothing like that. But it was everybody was like, wow, the reason, it's not that you're quitting, but the reason that you decided to quit, that's really inspiring. And so they got together and gave me a going away, and they wrote on the card proud of you, you're an inspiration, whatever. And then they gave me this journal. So when I look at that journal, the one with the music notes and everything, it's a reminder that our struggle is not our own, and you never know how you just taking that leap of faith might inspire somebody else, or might give them the courage to do what they want to do in their life. It's a lot of people who have major dreams that could literally change the face of this planet, but they don't because of fear.
My favorite song, it has to be Up and Coming Forever by Brian Garrett.
It's been a long time.
He's a singer and a songwriter that I created, a song with for a collaboration, basically trying to tell the story of the up-and-comer.
I talked about the independent grind. This song right here is called Up and Coming Forever. I just released it on iTunes. It represents everything you need to know about me right here. DJ Ray, we can rock out. Let's go.
I'm not a musician, but I guess partner on that project was basically, me sharing what I thought from my perspective with someone who is experienced in, writing songs and performing music.
Clean versus organized, they're different. They're different things, definitely. Okay. My definition for clean is free of dirt, free of dust, free of germs, bacteria. My definition for organized is a system is in place. So this is the working counter, this is the working space for a creative, and they had multiple projects that they were doing, and things started to get mixed in with each other. It's systematic. Okay. For you to have an organized house does not mean that your house is clean. And just because your house is clean does not mean it's organized. I wanted to make sure that we had just spaces that were designated for different things. So we found a beautiful bin that has different compartments in it that will allow him to not only be able to put things in the compartments, but it being, see-through, he can actually see what is in each different category. Thriving in your daily life. My goal, and the goal of Flourish Home, is to ensure that every individual, family, and business that I work with is able to thrive on a daily basis. Another thing that I love about this carrier specifically is it has handles on it. So if he decides decides he wants to take his project maybe outdoors because he's got some things he needs to spray or paint, whatever the case may be, he's able to take his whole station with him.
Because of the stuff that I do, a lot of times, one of my favorite places at the moment, like especially, is Uptown, because I have my specific spots that I like, and one of the spots that I never forget is the Muse, and I would never forget this place that was called Wine Up from back in the day. And the reason why is because the owner of the Muse has done so much for me. When I was a kid, he gave my little brother this red fire truck on Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Little brother, you know what I'm saying? We're all kids. He busted in the door for Christmas, like, ho, 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 whatever. Here's gifts. Blah. I was like, what? You know, this is pretty cool. So that's about building relationships. But at the same time, it shows you that there are people who care, and they help move people who are up and coming, or who are artists, or who are already there, changing the world already.
Yes, the full-fledged video.
Yeah.
It's called Rain or Shine. It was released in January 2018. The actual single was released in December 2017. So it was kind of like a flow, like we were in a couple weeks of each other.
I'll do whatever I gotta do because I need you in my life. Can't take another.
Amongst all the platforms, over about 5,000 views.
Okay.
Yeah. None of my family, friends, they cannot understand. They're like, why don't you go to The Voice? Or why don't you do this, that, and the third? I got somebody started a label, this, that, and the third, whatever. But I'm independent. I don't want to be signed to someone else. Like, I don't know why. I just feel it on my heart to be independent, to go ahead and do my own thing so that I'm always in control over my creativity. It's like when you get signed to someone else, then you kind of got to play the role they want you to play at that time. So not having the financial resources to do that has been like one of my biggest hang-ups. So like, okay, I put out this music video, and things that should have happened like before the video was released, after the video was released, I did not necessarily do it to the full capabilities of what I thought I should have been doing at the time, because for me it took money. Looking back, because hindsight is 20/20, there were some things that I could have done to continuously, market that video. And that's where I'm at now, just, about to put it back out there and see what happens, because it's a great song. People like it, it touches people. But you can't, that fear of not having enough was mine. Like that was the breakdown point for me.
But I don't know what's going on between you and me.
So you put the video out, okay, what's next? Like, ideally, I should have been doing shows to promote my song, like things of that nature. But I didn't do that because I'm doing scale. If I put my money here that I do have, then it's going to take away from my living situation. So it's been like this constant battle back and forth. And I'm still figuring it out. I'm also learning how not to make excuses for not doing certain things with my music because of money.
I definitely have my own life team, I think, currently. My mother, friends, I all count on them for their input and their insights for different situations that I come across. I myself have a mentor who shares with me life knowledge, shares with me a perspective. When my mentor told me, put some gloves on, because I was working in the car, and I'm telling him, yeah, I'm all right, my hands are good. He said, no, put some gloves on. And after that, it kind of, it gave a tone to where this is something that you should do, because you're being told by someone with experience. And his reasoning behind it was, you only get one pair of hands. And that's why I take that seriously and share that type of knowledge with my mentees. Two young males that I mentor and I share advice with, and basically being an open vessel for them to ask any questions they might have about anything.
All right, man. I'm going to the library and do my homework later, bro.
You know, whether it be dating, you know, male situations that you encounter as you grow, you know, how to deal with conflict.
And it's always nice talking to you. Thank you for all the advice, you know what I'm saying? I would never forget about you. That's on God.
Just different things that I feel like are valuable when you're growing up. You know, because it's kind of like, to me, having the answers to the test when you have a mentor. You have someone there at your side to kind of coach you along and say, you know what, up ahead is going to be a road that you might want to kind of navigate with, you know, some type of caution. And having that for youth when it comes to growing in life is invaluable.
You know, playing our instruments. That's it. Drawing, going to art school, doing that, joining the swim team. But everything I've done when I was younger has led up to now. Yeah. This is Red Zone. Well, I made that in my garage.
Sick.
Oh, really? I made that song in my garage with my Mac computer and a blue microphone and Logic Pro. Didn't go to any studio or anything like that. And I was like, I still till this day can't really go out and afford a studio. You know, me and my brothers would all stay in the house, so we all work really hard, and that's it. We just move with the time. You know, just pay the bills all day. Been out here helps me, stress. Music is like the center of my balance and my gravity. It's what I feel. Always be playing, but that's not enough for people.
I don't like to tell people, or try to inspire people to do something that I myself am not doing on a day-to-day basis. So when I say I ain't no punk, that really means something to me.
Oh, baby, they say communication is the key, so why can't you talk to me? Tell me what's on your mind.
For me, if it takes money for me to lose, the essence of who I am, to sacrifice my integrity, that's not my party to be at. I'm not with it. Because at the end of the day, I gotta look at myself in the mirror, and that's why I haven't taken certain opportunities with my music up until this point.
'Cause I don't wanna waste your time. You don't know how much. You don't know how much I truly love you.
I have to think about it this way, okay? If me taking this money now to do my project now will mean that I'm indebted to them for, let's say, 5-10 years, then it's not worth it. I might as well go ahead and struggle for this year, get up my own money and do it myself, so that I don't owe nobody nothing,
But you keep giving me the runaround. Tell me what's really going down. Oh, I don't wanna play no games with you.
when they start talking like, well, you should do this way. And it's not that I'm against anybody's advice. Like, you can't do it by yourself. There's people in this game that know far more than me that I could probably look to as mentors and everything. But it's certain ways, like, you can't have a conversation telling me that I should look a certain way or I should sound a certain way. That's not my sound. That's not my look. You know, that's not my styling. So for you to sit up here and try to change the essence of who I am so I can ride this wave that's going on right now in music, then I would be going against me. I would be fake. I can't even sing and be myself under those type of circumstances. So I really think that at this point, I'm flexible in certain regards, but I need to see the paperwork, and I need to make sure that whatever the stipulations are not going against my integrity, my brand, because I'm Samayyah.
My laptop is my #1 tool. I'm able to take my laptop, go into, you know, assets that I currently have, and draw inspiration from the successes of previous projects. So I feel like that's one of the strongest tools that I feel like I utilize. I utilize my own library of assets that I create and of projects that have been successful. And I continuously like to dissect projects and see why people took to that project. Why was that project impactful to people? And I feel like being able to understand that and use that as insight is very powerful in creating new projects. Creating a personal library was intentional because I have inspirations every day. So as I'm walking down the street or as I'm walking by a sign, you know, I just constantly snap pictures of ideas that I feel like communicate certain thoughts. And for me, that's very important because when you're looking at that blank canvas or you're looking at that blank screen and you're trying to figure out the best way to communicate an idea that you've been given, I feel like drawing on those inspirations and those assets that you stockpile is an amazing way to start.
Everybody that comes around here in this area who are native to Charlotte knows I'm playing this, okay? There was a lot of our own people that didn't know that this was a wireless microphone. They're like, he's not really playing, so I'm like, shit. So this one lady walked by, she was bad as hell. She's like, that's not you playing. I'm like, oh shit. Or she's like, that's not this, that's not that. I'm like, well, you know what? You wanna press the button while I'm playing? You wanna press my saxophone while I'm playing? You know? That I had like instrumentals, and he was like, "Nah, that's somebody else's shit." So then I turned the instrumental on, like I showed you earlier, and played it because the instrumental is just the background. So I mean, you can't prove everything to everybody. This music right here, this is my life right here. But this is my baby. This is Red right here. Red ball. And I have like a lot of sax songs, a lot of jazz songs out there. This is my favorite chord in my collection. So one day I'm gonna lock this in a glass box. That's a struggle sax. It got me out of the struggle. I didn't have a microphone. So shit, gotta buy one of those. So I originally brought a Shure PA microphone. I would set that up on a mic stand and play it through my little amp. I have echoes on it and stuff like that. And I would carry that around in my hand like this, my other horn on my back. Like I'm buff, but I was this short. I would walk around like this. And eventually I just started buying more equipment. And when I would come out here, I would come out with more and more equipment and just make it more professional.
So I'm trying to help people to establish roots. Some people will need help establishing roots. Some people will need help breaking through that dirt to be able to get to that point of flourishing. But no matter what stage people are at, I want people to understand that it's all part of life. It can be done. You can flourish. You can thrive. you deal with having to go in to see what's inside, and that's killing time in your process. If you've ever seen a creative work, they move. They're always on to the next thing. They're touching the next thing. So I think that's the way to go for him. Now, when it comes to larger items, I decided to leave the larger items off to the side. Of course, they can't fit in here, but whatever the case, the items that belonged with one project, I wanted to keep them with the same project. Again, because that was one of the biggest goals, to make sure that he wasn't mixing things that were for different projects. So the last part that I'll show is these beautiful things, baggies. I use these for so many different things, but the ultimate use for these is for small things that don't really have a home or that would get lost if we put them in here. So, but they're like items, they go in the baggie. So then this baggie can go in here, and I don't have to worry about it. He doesn't have to worry about them getting lost. He can still see them when he comes to, grab into his things. If you wanted to, you could even write just with a Sharpie on here what it is that these are or what project they're for. I'm able to, like I said before, give more than just a pretty picture. I'm able to give some insight to what it is I'm giving people, what it is I want people to see from the brand.
Every opportunity is not necessarily an opportunity for you.
Yeah.
So somebody else might see the same opportunity that I let down. It might be the perfect opportunity for them, and they might skyrocket.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with the decision that they made. They made a decision that's best for them, and I in turn have to do the same. I respect where you're coming from, but that's just not for me. I literally have to have those conversations all the time. My own sister calls me and say, well, why? I don't understand why you don't do X, Y, and Z with such and such. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, I don't want you to be closed-minded. It's not that I'm closed-minded. It's what's being presented to me is not something that I'm willing to chase, because I have a vision for myself and what I'm trying to do. My vision for myself, I'm going to go in the studio, do my project, start shopping around my project, start doing shows, and I want to do it straight to the people, because I'm a people's person. And that's why it's been taking me a long time to really get a kind of like a locomotive with social media, because I'm used to face-to-face interactions. It's something that you can't get through social media in that way, because I like to be able to see how you feeling, vibe off of how you feeling and adjust accordingly. That's where love and peace comes into play.
I'm a documentary buff. I love documentaries. I love things that teach me about environments that I've never experienced. I like to explore areas that I don't understand completely. I feel like changing your perspective and learning and acquiring different knowledge makes you a more wholesome provider in the sense of knowledge. Like you can really share more when you've been exposed to more.
I'm going to help you with some tips on how to organize your drafting materials to ensure that you are able to be as efficient as possible.
Or they know what you do, and they're like, hey, I know somebody who needs that. Here's their information, get in contact with them, those types of things. But when it comes to making big money, that hasn't come about yet. I don't know when that time will be, of course. I really don't. But at this moment, my goal is to help people understand that the services that I provide can help them on a day-to-day basis. So I will say, while it's not solely about making the bigger money, that is a piece of it. That needs to happen, right? But I do have to continually remind myself of why I'm doing this, why I started it. I didn't start it to make money. I started it because I saw people who I cared about were having issues, were having problems, and there was nobody around to help them with these problems. So I have to just continually motivate myself. I have to continuously put myself out there, let go of the fear that this is an industry that isn't widely known, and instead take that fear and flip it over and embrace it as motivation.
If you don't have basically what the company is trying to market at that time, you can be put on the shelf easily. And now you done signed into a contract with somebody. Now you got to try to fight your way out of this contract so that you can continue to try to pursue your dreams with music. And I think for me, I just wanted to avoid that by just doing my own thing. As I told you before, I'm a people's person. Like this grassroots stuff, this is what I do.
I was 15 when I wrote that song. I finished the bridge. The entire song is online, but I finished the bridge at the age of 29. So it was a good mixture of younger self, myself as an older woman who has actually experienced, dealing with dating, relationships, things of that nature. But the other thing is, that song was my very first full song that I recorded. So as I mentioned in the interview earlier, that my first time being in the studio was at church, one of the choir directors, but that was the song that I wrote. And my mom, she spent her last money to take me to a studio that was down in Durham, North Carolina. So my mother and my sister Leslie actually did the background vocals on the original recording. So that was something that was very special to me because I could hear my mom, who has always wanted to be a singer in her lifetime, she got a chance to sing background on my very first, official, well not official, but my very first single, so.
I definitely feel like that I've come a long way in regards to growing from where I started to where I am now. Success is not a defined destination. It's just a continuous path. Measuring success, I think, is based on the individual.
Outside, especially playing. When it was 90, it was like around 90 degrees outside in Charlotte when the Panthers game was going on. I was outside with my skirt and a small little generator. That's all I used to have back in the day was a tiny generator, guys. I didn't have I came up from like having nothing, and the first when I was 20 years old, I remember I was on top of all my bills. I was paying my mom's hospital bills, so I had to cause she had a stroke or whatever, so I had to go to her nursing home all the time, go see her, then go play. So I didn't have a lot of time to hang out with my friends. So therefore I was like, well, might as well go play, might as well go in town, make money and pay her hospital bills. So it's different for me. I didn't have the same type of path in another position. I mean, I was pushed beyond my limit.
Check it. I'll be up and coming till I die, never falling off. I'ma spread my wings until I fly. Now I'm taking off. I took a couple losses, I won't lie, but looking back, it was good for me. It put me in a better state of mind. It's been a long time coming, yes it has, but I heard you work for it twice as long as it'll last. You gotta build your credit history up to get the cash. That's true, but I never took no loans. I just paid my dues, did what I had to do. I'm not an actor, this is factual. I took a break, but now I'm back to smacking fools and dressing cash. Charge the max, matter of fact, I'm charging double and I'm taxing. Check my history, man, it wouldn't be a mystery if you had a clue. No pain, no gain, no days off. I'ma put in work until it all pays off. It's been a long time. With every day that goes by, I'm only getting better. I'll be hungry for life. You can catch me in some Gore-Tex and sweats, making tracks like I'm homeless. I do it for professionals that grew up in the projects, found a way to do better, even if they knew less. You wonder how I came up, I stayed down, you left. left. Success is just a process. Dive in, deep breath, start more, stop less. No nap time, no recess. I've been down, I've been stressed, I've been lost, I've been left, I've been broke, but I've been blessed. Your time is up, I got next, and I've been waiting up all night. Overdue, but it's alright. I pictured it, that's foresight. I'm all hot, all hype. I always knew I would win. I never said I might. I see the skies clearing up. Now I'm finally taking flight. It's been a long time. No days off. I'ma put in work until it all pays off. It's been a long time, long time. With every day that goes by, I'm only getting better. I'll be hungry for life, up and coming forever. I put in blood, sweat, tears. Kept moving forward, man, I faced all my fears. I kept the faith when so many people doubted. So every morning when I look in the mirror, I tell myself I'm about to make this money. Take this money. Ain't no way I let them take this from me. Cause I work too hard. Worked 2 jobs, I incubated the struggle and I birthed these bars. Man, I'm so passionate, I loan it out and ration it. Go to the bank and cash it and I never bounce a check. Give everything I have to leave a legacy that lasts. So when I'm laying in the casket, they gon' give me my respect. It's been a long time, no pain, no gain, no days off. I'ma put in work until it all pays off. It's been a long time.
My name is Chris and I'm up and coming forever.
My name is Ish, and I'm a rapper. Living for the cash.
My name is Corbin Ellis. I'm up and coming forever, and I'm a skater.
I go by the name T. Nicole, and I'm a singer-songwriter.
It's been a long time. With every day that goes by, I'm only getting better. I'll be hungry for life, up and coming forever.